Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Hakodash. Yahweh being the name, the Heavenly Father, who people ignorantly call Yahweh, Jehovah, God. Yahweh Shai being the name of the begotten Son, who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Rakha Hakodash is the Holy Spirit, all in our ancient tongue, the tongue of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, which are the true children of Israel, giving double honors unto the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who do rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. This ain't gonna be a quick hit, man. I know Jake have a short attention span, but hey, um, doing this for the edification of his body, the church. All right. So we're gonna get into it. As you can see, the topic it says this truth keeps you stable when death comes, man. All right, because a lot of death is coming. A lot of death is coming, man, and we have to be prepared. Okay, and I say that because this was inspired by me having a loss today. You know, let me get the book of Numbers real quick. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. All right, so you are who your father is. That is how the Most High declares your pedigree, your heritage, your nationality. All right. So with that being said, my father's father, my grandfather, went back to the spirit world today. All right, and I can see a lot of people, or should I say relatives, all right, groaning in the spirit, um, where it seems like it could be a vexation unto them, but when you really look at the situation critically, right, for about how long, maybe 2, almost 3 years, probably 3 years, you know, my grandfather was struggling, meaning what does they call a hospice? You need people to take care of him, people to feed him, people to um, clothe him, shower him, so on and so forth, right? And that was just not living, you know. You have to realize if you were to put your feet in somebody else's shoes, that it only makes sense to be groaning in the flesh and ask for rest from the Heavenly Father. Because when you go back to the spirit world, you are in rest. Man. You're not going through it. You're not in this hell. All right. My grandfather, was born in Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken, St. Anne's Parish. All right. I'm a Benjaminite, right? And I'm gonna just go through a couple of scriptures on why this truth, why this truth prepares us for death, man. You know, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 12 and 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. See, when you die, your body was made out of what? The ground. All right? All of the elements that are in the ground is constructed on your vessel that you are encompassed by. Because we're not our bodies, we are spirits encompassing bodies, right? These bodies are chains of darkness when you go into the book of Jude, okay? Because, like Paul said in the book of Romans, that, oh, this wretched body, who shall deliver me? Roughly paraphrasing, okay? So when we die, our body decomposes and goes back because the spirit is what gives us life. Hence, why the body decreases in body temperature, all right? Because the spirit is pure fire, pure energy, all right? Continuing on, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. You see? So all spirits, talking about humans here, go back to the spirit world, okay? Ain't no heaven or hell in the terms that you're taught in the Christian church. They're conditions. Heaven is a rulership state. Hell is an oppressive state, as well as Sheol or the grave. Okay, oh, he in heaven now. Nah. All right, even Yahweh Shah said the kingdom of heaven is in you. And the full manifestation of that is when Yahweh Shah comes to rule this place with a rod of iron to smite the nations, as it says in the book of Revelation. All right. So now, if we go to what is it, chapter 7, it says, verse 1, a good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It's better to the day of your death is better than when you're born, man. And people don't really understand that because on this side of things, before Yahweh Shah comes and makes this kingdom, all right, when you're born of a woman, like it says in Job, you have great troubles, man. Primarily as an Israelite, you under the curses. Regeneration, reincarnation is in the scriptures, man. You're going to live out all the wickedness that you have done in your past lives, man. Hence why Yahweh said, unto the third and fourth generation will I judge them. All right. Verse 2, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. See, us Israelites that came into this truth are already in a house of mourning. And because of that, I'm going to go to Ezekiel, and then we're going to jump back to Ecclesiastes. Because death hits you harder when you so-called in this get money, living your best life type of spirit. When Yahweh Shah said that, um, basically, roughly paraphrasing, you should hate thy life, man. How you really living? We all slave to the Federal Reserve note, the dollar, which is controlled by Esau Edom, the so-called Caucasian man, which is the international banking families, the Rothschilds, and so on and so forth, the DuPonts, right? The Rockefellers. You have to go through a credit system, which means an IOU having money that, or borrowing money that you don't have, which is a curse, because we supposed to be lending unto them and they borrowing from us. But one of the curses says that we will borrow and not lend, and they shall lend unto us, man. We are greater than all people on the face of the earth, and yet we're at the bottom of the totem pole, man. If that doesn't put you in a house of mourning, I don't know what will. For oppression makes a wise man mad. All right. So when you're already in the house of mourning, and let's just say, like I said, a relative died, you know, talking about me and my grandfather, you know, it doesn't hit you like, oh my God, the world is over with. All right. Because the Most High is preparing his hopeful elect, his remnant for what's to come. If you can't handle one death in your life, how are you going to handle, like it says in Psalms 91, 1,000 at your left side, 10,000 at your right side? These are the times that we coming in, man. The Most High is a power, a God of judgment, man. So just like it said in Ecclesiastes, it is better. Matter of fact, let's read it again. Verse 2, chapter 7, verse 2 in Ecclesiastes. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Your heart is your lab in the Hebrew. That's what it is, lab, which is your mind. You will lay it, meaning you'll meditate on it. Why is these people dying, man? You see what I'm saying? So if it's better to be in a house of mourning, let's look up Ezekiel. What is that? Chapter. Yeah, chapter 9, verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. If you mourning, what you doing? You sighing and crying, man. Because there's a bunch of wickedness going on, and you're looking for, having faith in promises of a kingdom, a land that dwelleth righteousness, man. All right. So going back to Ecclesiastes chapter 7, this is verse 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. You see, this life shit ain't no fucking comedy special on Netflix, man. This shit is real deal Holyfield, man. The Most High has it laid out in front of you, life and death, because through him come the issues of death, man. This is verse 4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. You see, a wise man is going to stay in that mourning state, man. All right. So it ain't no, oh, now I'm a mourn. Nah, I'm in a grieving mourning state, really on some 24/7. See, but Yahushua said, be therefore harmless as doves and wise as a serpent. See? So everybody ain't going to know what's going on with you. But I promise you, if you were to ask any Israelite, they'll be like, I hate it here, man. I want to go home. Like the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith, man. But we're unprofitable servants. We have to not only not adapt, but basically deal with what Yahweh has given us, because we deserve death, man. If a man said he hasn't sinned, he is a liar. And what? The wages of sin is death, man. We all deserve death. But we're asking through petition and through diligence in the way that we walk throughout life, which is we'll be walking in the spirit, for grace and mercy from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right. So let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 57. Isaiah chapter 57, verse 1. The righteous perisheth, and no man lay it to heart. See, hold on. Hold on. What did it just say in Ecclesiastes? Chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of feasting, Salakia. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. You see? So when we go back to Isaiah chapter 57, it reads, the righteous perisheth, and no man lay it to heart. You see? So only the wise will lay it to heart, meaning those that are living, that are what? In the house of mourning already. All right? You're laying it to your mind, you're meditating on it. You see what I'm saying? Whether it be a relative, whether it be certain people, that die in the truth. All right, there's a reason, and it's going to explain in Isaiah chapter 57. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth the heart, and merciful men are taken away. None considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. You see? So there's evils that are coming. Evil means bad time. What time is bad that is coming? Jacob's trouble, man. All right? Because if you die and you an Israelite, you go back into the spirit world, and you're waiting for the Most High to give you your new body. Because what does it say in the book of Isaiah, matter of fact? Let's see if I can find it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse. I'll start at verse 17 and jump down to 25. Verse 17 reads, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Verse 25 reads, in the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. You see? So regardless if you're an Israelite, even if you're two-thirds later on in the life, all right, you're gonna be glorified with what? New body, so on and so forth. You're gonna come through the loins of the elect. All right, but we're trying to make it on the first trip. That's what we giving diligence for. That's what the type of reward that we looking for. All right. So no matter what, if you got a relative, anybody that so called have emotions for, they die, they good, man. When you in the spirit world, you at rest. It's better, really, than living in this shithole, man. This place gotta go. All right. But let me see if I can now. Where was it? Back in Isaiah chapter 57. Go to Micah precepts. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 2. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. You see, because that's all that's going on, man. That's the curses. That thine eye shall have hatred towards another. And it's about to get worse. The scriptures say what? In the last days, perilous times shall come. There shall be lovers of their own selves. For the love of many shall wax cold, so on and so forth. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, because we coming into a time, man, it don't matter if you related to other people or not. People are going to go into survival mode, animal instincts, man. And this truth is the only thing that is going to separate you from somebody else. All right? Chronicles 4:28. So this is the book of Second Chronicles, chapter 34, verse 28. Behold, I will gather thee to thy fathers, and thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace. Neither shall thine eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place, and upon the inhabitants of the same. So they brought the king word again. See? So this was talking to the king of Judah at the time. All right? Let me see if I can find exactly. I think Josiah, right? Now, a lot of evil is about to be brought on into this place, man. And the inhabitants, Babylon, and the people that live here. All right? So a lot of people die early, all right? Um, because the Most High is taking them away from the evil to come, specifically, primarily the elect, all right? Now, obviously you have to hear this truth and have to be able to accept it, all right? That, Yahweh Shah is a so-called black man. He's of dark skin, pigmentation, you know, children of Israel, the so-called Negro Latino Native American, as well as the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad that look like heathen, scattered among the heathen, all right? So matter of fact, yeah, back in Isaiah chapter 57, we go to verse 2. Matter of fact, I started from the top again. The righteous perisheth, and no man layeth it to heart. And merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. He shall enter into peace. So notice, when we read in Ecclesiastes that um when we read in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it. So when it returns unto the Most High, what? You're at peace, man, because that's how you enter into peace. In the spirit world, they shall rest, see, in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. You see? So you're in a resting state, waiting for the Most High to deal with you, to judge you, right? All right? So if you die before Yahweh shall come, and he's on his way swiftly, as you can see these prophecies popping, all right? If you the one third, you're gonna be right in them chariots when he come back, you know? And you're gonna come down with new bodies with the rest of the elect. If you the two-third, you gotta wait until you get your new bodies as you come through the loins of the elect. they populate the earth. All right. So you know, let's go to Isaiah. What is it? Chapter 33, verse 6. Famous precept, and it reads, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." You see, so when it said that, the wise man will lay it to his heart, right? Chapter 7. Oh, chapter 7, verse 4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. You see? So you in a more mournful state, you're sighing and crying for the abominations thereof. That is what's going to keep you stable in the time to come. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time. And strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure, man. Because you know that the Most High can take you out at any time. When is your time to go? It's your time to go. All right? So we'll go to the book of Psalms, like I was quoting earlier, chapter 91, and it reads, I'm going to start at get straight to the point. Verse 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. See? So there's going to be a lot of death coming, even in, I want to say in Edris and in Ezekiel, that men is going to be, on the ground like dung, man. You ever been to a farm or somebody who owns a farm and they got animals and they just shit all over everywhere, anywhere. That's how people is going to be, just all over everywhere. You know what I mean? And you're going to have wisdom and knowledge, which is what? The truth in the scriptures, man. The 100% truth in order to keep you safe in the times, man. Which is a gift that is given unto you. All right? This, what we going through, man, we look forward, what's to come. We hasten the day of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because frankly, nothing else matters, man. Nothing else matters. See, people don't understand the Most High. The fear of the Lord, all right, is the beginning. Matter of fact, let's get Proverbs chapter 3. Now, chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. See, it's foolish for you to despise this and not want to hear it. See, but the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And we just read in Isaiah that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. So in order to do that, you have to have a healthy fear of the Lord, man. You have to know him. You got to seek the Lord while he may be found. Which is what? Through the scriptures, through the prophets out there. Teaching. Alright? I'm trying to find where Paul was like, if I live in Yahweh Shah. If I die, I die with Yahweh Shah. Even though I've got to live with y'all. Talking to, understudies, disciples, so to speak. So like, staying on the topic, because this truth is what's going to keep us um, stable, for the death that's coming, man. It's going to be mass death. The scriptures say that even the righteous shall be scarcely saved, man. You know, so we have to fully prepare for what's going on. People is going to die, man. That's what the scripture says. So how are we going to move? How are we going to maneuver throughout life? All right. Are we going to let things shake us to and fro? Are we going to be double-minded, or walk in the flesh rather than the spirit? Whether it be abuse substances or allow a depression demon to get on you, or nah, man, not if you're the elect. That's not going to happen to the elect, But you know, the just man, falling, what, 6 times get up seven. So there's going to be times where you be down, but the Most High is not going to get you through anything. What does it say? It's like he's not going to bring you through anything that you ain't able to bear. Roughly paraphrasing, you'll be able to get out of it. You know, so we all gotta be, you know, talking to the hopeful elect here, to fight the good fight, which is defenders of this faith until the end, man. Because nothing else matters. We have one Savior, and his name is Yahweh Shah, not nobody else, man. You know, that's everything else is on the back burner. To a certain degree, everything else is irrelevant. All right, because let's go to the book of Proverbs. I just seen it in chapter 3. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. See, when you get this truth, man, you really joyful. At the same time, you're in the house of mourning, right? Because we're fighting and we're looking forward to something in the future, which is what prophecies, man. And we've seen a lot of prophecies come to pass. So, you know, getting too involved in this world, man, it's just leading to distractions anyway. All right, Yahweh Shah himself said, "Let the dead bury the dead," man. You know, Yahweh is a God of power for living. See, the Most High is hardening us. Matter of fact, let's get that in Timothy. This is Second Timothy chapter 2, verse 3, and it reads, "Thou." Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 1. "Thou therefore, my son," so talking to the men here, "be strong in the grace that is in Yahweh Shah Hamashiach." You see, so Yahweh Shah gave us grace, man, by dying on that cross. You know, we're under grace right now. That doesn't mean we don't keep the law. We establish the law. We keep it to the best of our abilities. We, teach others to do the commandments and to repent from their wicked ways. Verse 2, "And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men," see, "who shall be able to teach others also." So that's the whole point, is to learn this and go teach it, man. All right? Because these are wise words, and it ain't my words, it's the word of the Most High. Verse 3, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shah." What does soldiers face in war? Death, man. Whether it be people that they knew, fellow comrades, innocent people, whatever, man. Right? But in order to get the goal, the mission accomplished, right, they have went through a training, right? A boot camp. And this is what the Father is doing right now, is hardening us, man. All right? For what's to come. All A lot of people is preparing carnally, like your so-called preppers and all, but we're spiritual preppers, man. Verse 4, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. You see? Fuck everything in this life, man. You gotta put the feelings and the emotions to the side. That is going to entangle you in the affairs of this life. The only thing that matters is this truth, man. Continuing on, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier. You see, so it's only for those that the Most High have chosen. You can't choose Yahweh Shai, what people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. He chooses you, and he is going to prepare you and chastise you in order for you to be ready for what he needs you to be ready for. Remember, we're in a spiritual war. We're fighting against principalities and higher places, man. So you don't think that we're going to go through some shit? The servant isn't greater than the master. Look at our master, what he went through. All men are appointed to die once, all right? And we all have died, in the regeneration. But some of us ain't going to die in these vessels today because we're in the generation that worship Yahweh through spirit and through truth, and is going to see Yahweh Shah crack them that sky, so to speak, with the angels, man. All right, so we have to endure hardness, man. This ain't, you think it's bad now? Just wait, just wait. So like it's all about this truth, man. It's about nothing else but this truth. People can think what they want to think. They hated Yahweh Shah because they had no understanding. The scriptures say, with all wisdom is the principal thing. With all thy getting, get understanding. People don't understand why things happen to them. Why things happen. And see, the Most High might even go to the people that you care about in order just to get to you, man. To see what you're going to do. It's a test of faith, a test of your loyalty towards Him. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble, man. People be hasty, their mind be racing because they don't have wisdom and knowledge. You're not stable, man. You have to understand why things are going on, but specifically praying on how to endure. Because even if you know why, but you don't apply the knowledge, or should I say the understanding of the knowledge that you've gained, is useless. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Verse 4, whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. See, people don't have no patience, man. No patience at all. And if you don't have patience, which is long suffering, same thing, synonymous, you don't have one of the fruits of the spirit. So that means the Father really ain't dealing with you. We have to be able to endure. What does the scripture say? He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. You think endurance is a light thing? No, it's hell. Anybody that has ran a long distance before. I mean, most of y'all in school and your physical fitness class or whatever at least had to do a mile. If you wasn't prepared, you know how it felt. When you was on that last stretch of things, even if you even finish. And that's endurance, and you push it, and you're testing your limits, man. See, the Most High is putting us through that furnace of affliction to try us as gold in the fire. We're gonna have to go through fire, man. Whether it be putting a thorn in the flesh, whether it be, you know, attacking the things of the world that you so-called attached to, because he's looking for your full, undivided attention. And look at it, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. The scriptures say to don't put your trust in man. Oh, I trusted you, oh, I trusted. What you trust in man for? You're supposed to be trusting the Most High. And while you're doing that, you're setting yourself aright, meaning what? Living to the best of your ability these laws, statutes, and commandments, rehearsing the righteous acts. Because that's having that faith, that belief that he will help you, man. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, see, you see that? Fear the Lord, fear the Lord, fear the Lord, which is what? The beginning of knowledge, man. But fools will despise it, knowledge and instruction. So I'm gonna leave it at, leave it right there. So the Most High's preparing us to see a lot of things, man. A lot of things, Jacob. Alas, the day is great, and none is like it, for this Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. Who's that he talking about? Israelites, the elect of Israel. Those that study to show thyself approved, those that are living, rehearsing the righteous acts, those that have faith in him. A lot of death is coming. And a wise man would consider it. I don't want to be on that side of things. And of course, it's all into the will of the Father. It's whatever his will is. If that's your lot, that's your lot. But you going to take it what? Cheerfully. There's going to be some martyrs in this thing. But the Most High is going to, through his Son, going to put the Spirit on those who get beheaded for not taking the chip. And they're going to take it cheerfully. And they're going to be the first ones in the chariot. You know? So when you're in this truth, death and pain, it it makes it easier, should I say. You don't have breakdowns, you know what I'm saying? Because you're constantly in a humble state. Because what? The meek shall inherit the earth, man. So we got to be in the right mind frame. Matter of fact, I'm going to get one more script and then I'll close out. I think it's in first. Yeah, chapter 1, verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahweh Shai. What happens at the revelation of Yahweh Shai? Revelation means to reveal, which is what? The day of the Lord. Woe unto you who wish for the day of the Lord, for it is dark, gloomy, right? Because what? He's about to crowd the skies with UFOs, with chariots. Missiles is going to be flying. It's Jacob's trouble. And before that is going to be a whole bunch of chaos in the streets, man. So Peter, right, which is the rock of the ecclesia, is saying, gird up the loins. When you gird up your loins in the ancient world, that means you was ready to fight, man, to go to war. So you got to know the history to understand the mystery. Be sober. Don't be all, spiritually speaking, drunk off the wine of these other ideologies, man. and hope to the end. We're prisoners of hope. So we're trying to endure. That's what an endurance unto the end. For the grace. Yeah, asking for the grace and mercies of Yahweh Shah to save us and deliver us in those days, man. All right? Because right now, and what we're going to be seeing, like I read in Psalm 91, a lot of death. But the Most High is going to keep it stable. While other mighty men, they're going to be holding on their loins like a woman in travail. They're going to be screaming. They're going to be afraid. All right? And that's what's going to separate us from the men of the world, man. All right? And even on this end, that's why, some men going to get spiritual powers. Isaiah 4:1 going to come into play. A lot of other things. You're gonna stand out like a sore thumb. What does it say? Matter of fact, in Isaiah, what is that, chapter 30? What is that, chapter 40? Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Bear with me. I'm gonna close out. Well, I could paraphrase it if I could. I don't know why. Can't find it. But basically, he's gonna make a man as the gold of Ophir. More precious than the gold as the gold of Ophir. So that's why I said he's gonna stick it as a sword. So of them, and specifically by women. Because my people shall be willing in the day of thy power. They're going to see, like, yo, all hell's breaking loose. But you chilling, you calm. Why? Because the Spirit of the Lord is upon the men of the Lord, the elect. And they know what's going on. Took the time out to really, to study and to see what's going on. You know. So with that being said, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect. I say a Bible ball, which means um, destroy Babylon. And Babylon the Great is America in the scriptures, prophetically speaking. All right. And when Babylon is destroyed, there's going to be a lot of dead, you know, everything. Kwame Yasharala, Rise Israel, Shalom.